everybody? Three into possible. Sunday night. We're just chilling. We're in the dead period for the NBA, so not a lot's going on, but we're gonna still try and find a way to keep it entertaining. Joe's usually on top of that. But how you guys feeling? How we doing?
So I'm here for
I ain't do shit, man. It's raining here, so
Sunday.
Yeah, it's raining here too. I was supposed to go golfing today.
Tomorrow.
It rained out.
you should have went.
All rain.
You know, man. Get out and do something positive with his life.
I'm trying to keep the ligaments in my knee that are functioning, still functioning. I'm not trying to slip while it's wet out there. I ain't trying to do all that.
Yep, I'm about to go to the doctor. They got tore some of my knees too, but I just don't want to know right now, so I'll go sometime this week.
I just don't feel like knowing yet.
Nope.
Oh Lord.
Devion golfs. That's a
Nah, he just goes out there and hits shit.
Bingo. I don't know what I'm doing.
He just swings a club.
does not count.
Right, man. Let's get into some NBA news. A little bit of news this week that could actually end up being very impactful. DeAndre Ayton signed a max offer sheet with the Pacers. For those of you that may not know what that means, because that sounds really weird, all that means is he was a restricted free agent. So the Suns have every opportunity to match the offer that DeAndre Ayton signs. Every first-round pick has the same type of protection, and apparently the Suns are going to match it. So that was an interesting decision. I believe that officially happened yesterday or something. I don't exactly know the timing on the matching when they signed the offer sheet, but that was supposed to be kind of a key piece to some of the trades that they may do. But let's before we get into all that, let's talk about DeAndre Ayton returning to the Suns on a max contract. Joe, what do you think about that?
They talk about the fact that men have all the power.
How does this win?
This dude.
I'm completely. He playing it off too. Great.
I ain't worried about what y'all.
Man, to be honest, it's to me because things you were hearing is ever since the playoffs, they weren't with DeAndre Ayton. They benched him in the fourth quarter in that last game, in that blowout game. They didn't like his attitude. Him and the coach got a little bit of beef. You know, I think that right there, I thought was what keeps them from getting him. I mean, he ain't got that dog in him. You need to consider to have that dog in him if you're trying to win a championship. They about to give him a bunch of money, but I guess they realized they weren't going to be able to get KD, so they said, let's go ahead and get back one more time. I guess that's what they're banking on. There's no get KD now. I don't think it's no chance.
We'll get into the KD part to it in a second here, but Devion, I mean, what were your kind of thoughts on this? I mean, I think we all kind of expected the Pacers to be the team that signed him to that max offer sheet, but I mean, I don't know that I expected the Suns to match it. What about you?
I didn't have really no thoughts on it. I thought, we talked about. I thought they might match it because if they don't, what else are they gonna get? Because if they put all their eggs in one basket, can't get KD, which I don't think they're gonna get KD. Then they just pretty much stuck. So you might as well at least keep him. You know what you got over the next couple of years. You know, if you use Chris Paul, at least as long as Chris Paul is some type of point guard is there, you know, you can get some type of, productivity out of Ayton. But do I think it was smart? Hell no. But I don't think they really had a choice but to, like, with what they had, the option they had, get KD or keep Ayton. Like, and I don't think KD's going there. I really don't think KD's going there. But I could be wrong.
Well, all right, let's save that for a second. But I think the big takeaway that I have from this is even if you're a little frustrated with the player, you know, unless that player like literally has zero value, don't ruin the relationship. Because I think that's kind of what happened here. Because a key point to this is that if Ayton just would have agreed to terms but didn't sign anything with the Pacers, they could still be negotiating a sign and trade. Now that Ayton has signed that offer sheet, making Phoenix match it, that gives Ayton a de facto no trade clause for this entire first year of the contract. So they're in no position now to use Ayton to flip some picks. Also, they can't even trade. I don't remember exactly what the date is. I think it's around the trade deadline, but they can't trade him now for months. So
like
the Suns really kind of fucked themselves by alienating
January.
DeAndre Ayton. So, oh man, they're in a tough spot now because that was kind of their piece. That was going to be the piece they could use to get the extra first round picks to package with Bridges and Johnson and whoever else to try and get KD, which is where we'll take this now. I don't know how they pull that trade off now because Mikal Bridges is a nice role player, Cam Johnson a nice role player. There's no star potential in my opinion in either of those two players. So they would have to come up with something crazy now, like Devin Booker for somebody who then that other somebody gets shipped to Brooklyn or something. Like that's the crazy kind of shit that they'd have to come up with to facilitate a KD trade now. So, Joe, what does this mean for KD trade? Obviously, it sounds like Suns probably not going to be able to happen, at least for a minute.
I don't see it happen, period, to be honest. I think there's no going to happen whatsoever. This is the best chance right now. It's not going to happen. It's a wrap. In my opinion. If you look at the Donovan Mitchell possible, they go Donovan Mitchell freaking for 6 first round picks and some players. So if that's what Donovan Mitchell going for, I know KD ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, Joe, I don't exactly know what you said there, but Devion, I'm gonna let you.
I was like, run that back from the top, my guy. I think it's pretty much like dead because I think that was only part. I really think that was like the only piece you could use to trade.
Well, I'm not even saying just for the Suns, but like just the sweepstakes for KD in general. Does this bring in like a mystery team or
no?
What do you think?
Miami. I'm going to stake to that. I think he's gonna go to Miami. It's just set up perfectly for him. But with the Suns, like who you gonna trade for him? Devin Booker, and that'll probably be the reason he wants to come. You would have to ship Chris Paul. I don't know who's gonna want Chris Paul at this age, unless you want him to be some type of mentorship. Yeah, that contract is crazy. So unless you want a mentor that you want to pay $45, $50 million for, cool. But Ayton was the only piece that they had where they could have traded for him. So I think I think the Suns have pretty much have set their roster for at least the next year. They'll try again next year. And I think KD is going to Miami because that's the only team I think is set up for him. I don't know who else could really can put pieces that are even be worth anything besides like Miami that he'll want to go to and play and compete. So unless he stay in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think there's some other I think there's other options that maybe he would be okay with if I'm still throwing it out there. I still think Philly is a dark horse to where he would say, okay. I don't know that he's going to want to play with James Harden because I think that really might have soured last year.
Well, I guess they got the contracts for it, don't they? Yeah, with like Tobias Harris.
And actual pieces that would make them happy.
I forgot.
I think, but again, that would be an extra team that KD would have to be like, okay, we all commit to. I won't, try and blow shit up once you get there. I think you're right that Miami's got to be considered the leader, like in the clubhouse, so to speak, to get him if he's moved. What I think this really did was I think unless KD really puts his foot down, I think this really actually heightened the chances that they just run it back one more year and try and say, fuck it. All right, Kyrie's here. As long as you promise not to move Kyrie, let's just run it back. Let's try and get it pushing this year and see if we can do something. And then, in the offseason, if they still don't want Kyrie, and then KD's like, all right, fine. If you want to get rid of Kyrie, you want to get rid of me, like, let's just do it that way. And like, at least they had one more shot at it. Like, I think, like, if I'm Brooklyn, I'm doing everything I can right now to be like, look, Kevin, we're trying with the teams that you asked for, but there's no way that we can move you for a Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges package, or a Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry package. Like, you're too good, and you try and sweet talk him and try and get him to buy in. Like, look, let's have our version of the Last Dance or whatever. Like, run it back one more time, see if we can do something special this year.
Yeah, if we don't go to Miami, that's it. Because at that point, I don't think he's going to Philly. I don't really think Embiid is probably only reason you would want to go to Philly, but it's dependent upon how much how healthy you think he is, how many years he got left, if he's going to end up staying there for a while. Because pretty much next team he commits to is probably he's going to be there for a little minute. Because I don't think he's going to force another trade. So. Like that's why I was
Let me
like,
ask you guys about this, because I've heard this kicked around a bunch of times and I've got thoughts on it. Joe, I'll let you start this one. Everyone's been kind of kicking around the Warriors reunion with KD. Do you see that as a possibility, or what do you think?
Oh, chance. I don't understand it. If you're Kevin and you didn't like being there in the first place, they don't need you. You left because you felt like you wasn't embraced. Everybody's always going to say it's Steph's team. Since if you win championship the easy way, you just ain't trying to hear to know you win the game. But then you end up here to do it's not a happy situation for KD. It's going to be the same thing all over again. He's going to want to dip again. If I was both teams, if it does get you a chip, it don't make sense. It's only going to last a short period.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll wait. Devion, go ahead.
For Golden State, yeah, it makes sense. Because you'll at least you'll get one ring, maybe two, like back to backs. But for KD and his legacy, I think that'd be like the dumbest move in the world. Because people he can't say, oh, I don't pay attention to social media. Bro, you got burner accounts, like it obviously hurts your feelings. So you go win more rings with Golden State, they basically go say, yeah, you might be the best player on that team, but it still has always been Steph's team. You couldn't do anything without Steph. It'd be like Kobe and Shaq. That's why Shaq went to Miami. He made sure he won a ring. And Kobe said, I need to win two because you got one. So he need to go win a ring somewhere else first. And if he won a ring, then you can go to Golden State. You can get a 3-piece, 2-piece if you want to, which not for his legacy. I think that'd be the dumbest move in the world. But I wouldn't put it past him.
I mean, the thing is, it really wouldn't be up to KD at that point. But
yeah.
So the thing that is just, I agree completely with your guys' assessment. Like, for Kevin Durant's perspective, fuck no. Not after they just won without you. That's gonna, like, the whole legacy thing.
Yeah,
I know he acts like his legacy is secured and everything, and I agree. Like, his legacy is secured. Like, there's not really, at this point, we're just posturing, positioning.
That's it.
But like, he left because he wanted to do it without Golden State. He wanted to do it without that help, and it would have been one thing if, like, this year Golden State just, maybe was a first round exit. Then he goes back and then they win, and he's kind of like, see, y'all needed me. Not after Golden State won it. I just don't think that's the move he wants to make. He's a made man. He's already got 2 chips, 2 Finals MVPs. The other part that, though, doesn't make that much sense to me, like, if you don't want Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges of the world, or the Tyler Heroes and Kyle Lowrys of the world, the fuck do you want a Jordan Poole or a? There's no difference in those players. Those are all the same types of players there. Like, those are all just nice little role players. The media just seems to keep trying to hype up the fact that, oh, well, they could put together the most compelling package possible. Kuminga, look, I like Kuminga still. I still believe in his talent and think he can mold into a nice NBA player. He had some struggles in the fucking summer league. All right, like, let's chill. Like, They don't have the proven commodities that a lot of these other teams, like the same exact situation. You're not getting a star when a star asks out. That's just the bottom line. Let's move on to LeBron playing in the Drew League. First time since 2011. We know a certain someone that might be on the move from Brooklyn. Not Kevin Durant, that frequents this league. Has a movie named after him, Uncle Drew. You guys think this is something, or is this LeBron just decided he wanted to play in the league for the first time since 2011? Devion, I'll let you start this one off. Like, is this something? Is this nothing? You think he's just out there hooping? Like, what do you think? Anything to talk about here? We are not going to dissect the game, by the way. We are not going to that bullshit.
I'm not going to that game. I was like, nah. Nah, I don't know. I don't know because it's was it they had the I don't know if it was true like when Russ and LeBron went to the game, didn't speak to each other. All this bad narrative about trying to get Russ out. I know Kyrie will play with LeBron again. LeBron is known for some of his antics to keep your mind wondering, but is it really gonna happen? This is just like, I don't know. I don't put nothing past them. It's just like the people involved, you don't know what to expect from. So it could happen, but I don't think Brooklyn wants Westbrook. So I don't think it will happen. I think at this point, we might be the only people, I don't think he gets a bad rep for it, but I think at this point, we might be the only people that won't, Russ at this point. So it's like unlikely. So, and I know LeBron ain't getting traded there. So that ain't happening. So doubt it.
Joe, you think this is anything?
I think this is LeBron saying, "Hey man, Kyrie, bro, I know we trying to make this thing. I can get to your level. I can reach your level, bro. I can still be cool and help. I can go to this. We can make basketball fun, bro. Like I know it wasn't fun last time because I was the leader of this and I was sunning you. Now you with me. Let's go have fun and go win. That's all I think it is, to be honest. Because LeBron, I love to control the narrative. That's all it is, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's LeBron mostly just having a touch point with Kyrie, like showing some goodwill towards Kyrie, trying to, it's not a ton of anything, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the first offseason that Kyrie is potentially available, LeBron makes an attempt to go do something with Kyrie. I know they didn't play in the same game or on the same team or anything, but like I'm sure they connected and met up. So, it is what it is. Like I don't want to make too much of a thing out of it, but it was interesting. Cool to see him do it. DeMar DeRozan played as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just saying that's a LeBron thing. That's exactly what. I mean, it don't seem like nothing right now, but down the line, you be like, oh, man, LeBron had that whole thing planned out.
Yeah, and honestly, like we got to keep in perspective too. Like, even if he doesn't get Kyrie this year, last year at Kyrie's deal, he might just be greasing the wheels for next year. Like, hey man, look, you and Russ both only got 1 year left. Worst case scenario, Russ out. You take Russ's money. You come here. Things are cool. Like that could be the conversation they're having. Might not materialize right now, but LeBron's not stupid. LeBron's thinking ahead. He's building relationship, knowing that Kyrie's in a shitty situation, and at the end of the day, Durant's locked into a contract for 4 more seasons. Kyrie's only locked in there for 1.
That's a fact.
But all right, y'all want to play some start, sit, cut?
Yeah.
All right. I spent a lot of time thinking on these, so I hope these are as good as I had them in my head. Start, sit, cut. Another big man edition here. Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone.
That's interesting.
Joe, I am very intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one.
Man, this is tough. Struggled on this one. I can't say it. I'm gonna start Tim Duncan. I'm starting Tim Duncan. Best overall basketball player out of these three. He got chips to prove it. I know what he's gonna do for me. And he clutch. I done seen him make threes in a clutch situation, and he's not a three-point shooter. So I'm gonna start him again, and then this is the part that was hard for me. When you look at them, they're damn near the same player statistically. They're damn near at the same stats. KG's on 1 point because the last couple years just hurting the head. But I'm gonna say KG just because of his tenacity. I like his drive. I like what he brings to the table. I love Carmelo. Carmelo is dominant. It was fun to watch. I think he's more dominant than KG offensively. Defensively, and what just KG brings with tenacity and his energy, I'm gonna go KG. So I'm gonna have to cut Carmelo.
I'm with it. Devion?
Start Duncan. Obvious reason. I think he's the most proven player out of all of them. Got good stats, good accolades, won 5 rings. So, and I was just talking shit for him yesterday. So, I think he is the best player out of all 3 of them. If you don't say he's the best individual player, he's the most accomplished. So that's enough to put him as a start position. The second one kind of harder because Carmelo. I think if Carmelo didn't get hurt when he played with the Lakers, I think he would have a ring. I think we lost because he got hurt. So, but KG was a dog with or without anybody. Then he got somebody, and he won. So, and they were contenders for a while where we always, pretty much like LeBron stopping. So it's, man, I probably sit KG because, at the end of the day, I think he's a dope talent. I think Carmelo is, obviously I don't think anybody can really stop him. But first chance KG got some people around his team. He capitalized on it. And you got to give somebody some credit for that. So I think I'll sit him and I'll probably cut Carmelo, even though that kind of hurt to say that. Yeah, that kind of hurt to say that.
Don't hurt
me.
But
yeah.
All right.
So.
I understand I might get killed for this. But I'm gonna preempt this by saying I think Tim Duncan deserves to be ranked in everyone's all-time list and everything the highest out of all these people. I agree with that because of what he accomplished. But for my team, who I want, I'm starting Kevin Garnett.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Everything he brings offensively, defensively, I think Tim Duncan is a great defender, rim protector, but Kevin Garnett gets you almost 2 steals a game some of his peak years. So I think Kevin Garnett was just so cold. He was just in fucking Minnesota. I think, in my opinion, if you swapped Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett from Minnesota to San Antonio, Tim Duncan probably needs to wait till he goes to Boston, and Kevin Garnett probably has 5 rings. My opinion. I'm gonna sit Tim Duncan, and I'm gonna cut the little rapist Karl Malone. I didn't even really want to include him in this. I didn't even have to bring his name up, but because he's such a predatory piece of shit. But in terms of stats and comparisons on the basketball court, he was the only one that would make this a conversation. But I think Karl Malone also just purely basketball. I think he benefited greatly by playing with John Stockton and that system for as long as he did. Like, I think his stats are inflated because of where he played. Like, I think if he was asked to kind of be the guy by himself, like KG and Tim Duncan were, I don't think it would have been as. He was obviously a really good player, and like he would have still put up numbers, but I don't think it would have. His numbers wouldn't quite look as good as they do.
That's fair.
All right, let's go point guard edition. I think this is the hardest one personally. When I was making these, I think this is the hardest one. Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas. I love all of these players' game, all of their games, and they were all slightly different in how they were successful. Joe, you got a little look on your face, so I'll let you start this one off. Did we lose Joe?
Oh man! All right. Well,
There he
for
is.
me, this is like that's pretty easy. We ain't even got to debate that. Do we like Magic Johnson obviously starting? The sick cut is the interesting part. For me, I love Isaiah Thomas. Show favoritism. Thomas is the only player to have a winning record against Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. So I'm obviously going to see Isaiah Thomas. I'm going to have to cut Steph. I love Steph. He probably one of the top greatest players. But Isaiah Thomas and he's not Magic. I will take him as my point guard any day. Steph, he can get great short of all time. But for point guard, he's not Magic and he not Isaiah Thomas either. So he have to get going. Steph.
Wow. All right. Devion, I know who you're starting. There ain't no competition for you.
Yeah, Magic. Not even close. So, it's basically LeBron. He's a skinny LeBron. So it's like, what you gonna do with him? He's 6'8", can run. You gonna drop a dime on him, and you can't stop him. Like even if when he try to score, you can't stop him offensively. So, if he didn't have his career shortened, dude might have like 7 rings. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm starting him. So I do not consider Steph Curry a point guard, in my personal opinion. I think he's a shooting guard. I think he's just put as a point guard position. So that's how I see it. I think he's the same thing as like AI. You know what I'm saying?
Don't matter.
That's
whatever.
But,
Start sick cut with the 3 of them.
But I'm
Fuck their
sitting.
position.
Man, fuck it matters. It matters for my team. It's kind of hard because I don't like Steph, but I gotta respect this game. Probably what's his name? Isaiah. I probably sit Isaiah Thomas. Because I just think, you know what I'm saying, he's just a dog on both ends. So I think you can get a little bit more out of him. Steph, me personally, I think you can put somebody tough on him and you can, kind of make it a little bit harder for him. It's just hard to see when you got Draymond weak ass on the court who go clothesline your ass and take all the pressure off somebody else. So that's what you got, pretty much a Draymond in Isaiah form who can actually hoop. So I'll probably sit him for my personal team. I probably would sit him, and then I would cut Steph. My personal team, but I'm also a Lakers fan, so I used to have it. Like I said, I used to having dead eye shooters like that. So I know what it is to win with players like that. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I feel like y'all are just haters right now.
Probably.
That's what I feel like. Now, Joe, you said this one was easy. I honestly think there is an argument to start each of the 3. I think there is like a legitimate argument that you could make to start all the 3. The one with Isaiah is what you mentioned. He's got a winning record against Magic. He's got a winning record against Jordan and Larry Bird. Like, that's fucking incredible. I personally don't take that lightly, even though a lot of that's regular season and everything. And I know they all won more championships than he did. I think I would also argue that their supporting casts were better than his were, even though I mad respect to Joe Dumars and Bill Laimbeer and all them, like Dennis Rodman when he had him. Like A lot of goons, a lot of good basketball players. But like that game where Isaiah was playing on like one leg and at 6 feet tall and just giving people buckets, like I'm sorry, like to me, there's an argument for him to be even over Magic. Steph is completely revolutionizing the game. Like that in itself, right there, you can stop right there and you can say that's an argument to be started out of these three. And then Magic is Magic. And like you brought up Devion, if everyone's so scared of fucking HIV, like, and we just knew what we knew now, and all the things about it, like Jordan might not have 6, and Magic might have like 7 or 8, and he might be the one that people are arguing about with LeBron, right? Like those are all possible. So long-winded answer to get to. I'm gonna start Magic because he got as many rings he did. As a rookie in the finals, he had to start a game at center and like managed to play well and still be Magic Johnson. Like incredible. I'm gonna sit Steph. I think y'all are hating on Steph, and that's the only reason that y'all don't want to sit him. And I'm unfortunately going to cut Isaiah, and I hate doing that because I love Isaiah. Isaiah's probably my favorite of the three in terms of just watching hoop. But I think Steph, based on what he's done and like doing it before he got Kevin Durant, doing it with Kevin Durant, and then doing it again afterwards, and kind of reinventing himself a little bit defensively and just like his physicality a little bit, allowing him to play inside a little more. You got to give it up to him. Got to.
Let me ask you a question. So I know everybody always says like Steph revolutionized the game and all that shit. But do you think it's more so like what if like Trae Young, for example, at the end of his career, if he keeps going, he might beat his 3-point record. Because dude got like 800 threes made in like 4 seasons. So do you think that, that kind of changes some things? If that 3-point, like, you get what I'm saying?
Like if Steph doesn't hold that record for very long?
Yeah, because it's
because I don't think we have Trae Young if Steph Curry doesn't do what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think the Hawks trade Luka Doncic for a Trae Young unless Steph has already proven the model. Like Steph had to prove it for a lot of people to now buy into players that play in that similar play style. Not that I think that would necessarily be fair to Trae Young, but like I mean, look how many small guards people used to really like. The Trae Youngs of the world did not go top 3. Yeah. Like there's like
you're right about that one.
I can't think of like think about like even a guy like JJ Redick, right? When he was in college, he was probably like the first like big name to shoot like that far beyond the line, right? That was like in college and like doing all the. No one ever thought anything, correctly so, but like no one ever thought of JJ Redick as more than a role player. And Steph Curry combined that with some handles and just playmaking,
every time
and then all of a sudden,
he bring up a dude player on Miami Heat every time.
This dude just got to change the rules every time. Every other podcast is like, why you always bring up the Miami Heat? Then now it's Duke player. What in the fuck do I talk about?
But I'm just saying, like doesn't the student can become the master at some point? You know what I'm saying? Because AI revolutionized the game.
Look at what Steph shoots from 3. Look at the percentage that Steph shoots from 3, still taking a lot of tough shots, and look at the percentage that Trae Young shoots. They're not even in the same fucking ballpark.
Yeah, well, that's the argument. Yeah, when you say if you want to do efficiency, because that does matter. That's one of those little things like AD that people used to always do. Like he was very efficient player, even though he did some dumb shit, but he was very efficient. And he's going to, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that does help him. But I think, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I think we thought the same thing about Ray Allen. Look at what he did with that 3-ball. You know, he I think a lot of, and now Steph took the formula, ran with
transition.
It. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
What a transition. Bro. This guy, our last sit cut.
Bro.
Klay Thompson, and I did this because I've seen this posted a lot about people comparing Klay Thompson and Ray Allen. I've got a lot of thoughts on that, and we can maybe take that after this. But Klay Thompson, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller.
It's the easiest one.
All right, Devion, if it's so
I
easy, you go first then.
Ray Allen, I'm starting him because people don't realize like how much of a dog like Ray Allen really was with the Supersonics and everything. Like
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, like they don't make movies based off of bullshit players. Like you gotta be like super nice to have a whole movie off you. You get what I'm saying? He gotta get what? He's a dog, and people just think about those Miami things. Like, first of all, he was a dog, and he just accepted his role. Like that's one of the only times, like I said, and that's why I give Miami they props where you had three superstars, not necessarily like Ray Allen, 3-4 superstars or previous superstars that just fit into their role. Like I don't think people realize how hard that is, but you know, Klay Thompson is one of those people. Like if he had his own team, would he be great? We'll never know because a lot of people don't think he'll be great on his own. I know Ray Allen will be, and I know he'll be great with and without, with or without good players, and he can win when he got somebody on his team. I think it's the easy with him, and then I'll probably sit Klay because he's a two-way defender. Even though I don't think I seen what Reggie Miller did, but like if you look at accomplishments, stats, one plays, two, both sides of the floor, and Klay's not taking your weakest defender. I mean, your weakest offensive player. He gonna try to lock your best player up. Then he gonna come over there and give you some buckets on the other end. So it's like Reggie Miller is cool what you did with the Knicks, and I really don't like the Knicks. So it was kind of hard to go against a Knicks slayer, and that's what his nickname too. I think it's Nick Killer. Funny as fuck, but I gotta cut Reggie. Like I don't even think honestly for his time he was that guy. But compared to these two, he's not even in the same league in my opinion. I think it's light years difference.
Joe.
I got nothing to add. I said everyone's about to say. Like literally, I'm sorry, Ray Allen, I'm sitting Thompson and Reggie Miller. Like you said, like he cold. He had some moments. Like if all three of these dudes walk on the court, Reggie Miller not gonna scare me like two do. Like I'm like, yeah, we can't let Reggie open. But like defensively, just gonna attack him and get him tired. You can't do that with Klay and Ray Allen. Like and Ray Allen, you guys are Ray Allen. Like I don't think people realize how athletic he was too. Dude was nice. He was an all-around basketball player. He wasn't just no three-point shooter. I don't think a lot of people realize that. So
Ray
was a two. Like he was a full complete two guard. Like he
can't do that.
He will rack you, dunk on you. Like Ray was a fucking problem.
You know what I'm saying? Granted, I think Reggie Miller might be the most annoying player, and then if you want someone on your team that's going to annoy people, score, and do some other stuff, it's a real good argument for him because I think he'd be annoying, and then he'll come down and give you 20, and it'll really piss you off and can really get you out your game. But it's like Klay a silent killer, bro. You don't gotta talk shit.
All right, so yes. Part of the reason why I want to do this one is just to put all of this bullshit aside. Ray Allen is your starting Ray Allen of all these people. Klay Thompson has no prayer of unseating Ray Allen in this kind of conversation. Yes, he'll make more threes than him when it's all said and done. Again, part of that's because of him and Steph's kind of legacy and what they did with the Warriors and really changing how we play basketball, right? Like that's a big part of it. It's not necessarily because he even might be a little bit of a better three-point shooter. Fine. Ray Allen did a hell of a lot more than just shoot threes. And I don't know that Klay Thompson can really do it, obviously, besides defend. Offensively, I don't know that he does a ton else besides shoot threes. And I'm actually surprised at this one. I thought this was the easiest of them as well, but easy because I'm sitting Reggie Miller. in cutting Klay Thompson. Purely because when I look at these three players, two were stars and one was a role player. Fantastic role player.
I'll give you that.
Amazing role player, probably like top of the top role players in NBA history. But Reggie Miller was the leader of his team and led that team to conference finals after conference finals and just ran into Jordan. Like at the end of the day, that's what kept stopping Reggie Miller. It was Michael Jordan, and there's no shame in that.
That is true. I forgot how trash their team was. You are right about that.
They put some nice little pieces around him, and what a lot of people forget too is a year that they could have really contended was that I think it was whatever year the Malice in the Palace was. That kind of just obliterated kind of Reggie's last real shot at a title. Like they had made the move to get Ron Artest and Steven Jackson.
That year.
That team was they were one of the favorites that year. Like they were one of the favorites.
When they like 1 or 2,
they just lost, I think, to the Pistons the year before in the conference finals. I got the details a little fuzzy, but they were perceived as a legit contender to come out the East, and that just derailed their whole fucking season. They'd gotten, they'd made some changes, but Reggie Miller was a fucking dog. My favorite bunch of points in short period of time is obviously Tracy McGrady's outburst, but Reggie's is close. The 7 points in whatever seconds to win. To steal a game, like Reggie was fucking incredible. And if you haven't watched the whole 30 for 30 with Reggie versus the Knicks, just go watch it.
Nick Killer, yeah, because that's funny. Like he had 7 points that mattered in the playoffs. Some people gonna say Klay, he dropped 60 something. That was a regular season game, my brother. That didn't mean nothing. That's some good points. So I ain't gonna lie, that make you kind of reconsider like Klay Thompson when you think about that.
All great players, they're all fantastic, and everybody would want them. But yeah, that's gonna be my only difference. I'm gonna sit Reggie and cut Klay. But all right, fellas, one of our shorter shows. It's not a lot to talk about these days. But you know how we end the show. We choose love or we choose violence. Joe, what you feeling?
All right, man. I know this is not a base show, but Major League is considering in the minor leagues and chalk lines on the field, second base. It'll be like a pie chart, the right angle, and you can't go outside that. The point is they're trying to keep you from using the shit to take away balls hit up the middle. That would usually be a base hit. Come on, bro. Y'all doing too much gimmicky stuff. That's with baseball. Learn how to lay a bunt down or hit to the opposite side. I don't understand why can't you hit runs? I get home runs are cool to watch, but strikeouts are not fun to watch. I'm tired of seeing people swing and miss. Add into the game. You add more stealing, bunts, more pop flies, more hitting to the other side of the freaking field. It'll be more less standing around, and then people may say, "Oh my God, let's watch 3.5 hours of baseball." Nothing happened. Come on, that's not the way to fix it. Pay people to actually play, be an all-around baseball player. Don't pay around. It's just
it's one of those things where analytics has gone too far, and people realize that hitting the home run is the most desired outcome, which fucking obviously. But you can't have a team full of those players, and that's what's become very annoying with baseball, and why I get so annoyed when you go obviously I'm an analytics person, that's my day job, but you can't just go blindly into analytics without understanding your environment, what you're dealing with. And yes, you need people that are going to consistently make contact with the baseball, be on base. For when your home run hitters come up, then there's actually people on base. You get 3 instead of 1. Yeah, all the things. I completely co-sign Joe. The shift is not the issue. It's the fact that you are making the shift so valuable because you are trying to pull everything to hit a home run. Devion, what you got?
What is it? Sunday, venting Sunday. I'm going to hate on Mr. KD.
Wow.
I wish he just makes a decision, cause like
It ain't KD's fault. The Nets got to accept the trade.
I don't care. He can force it. He look. He do everything else. He outspoken about everything else and can push everything else through. Man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. And that organization is fucking weak. So you let a fucking player like him even want to request a trade like that fucking throw all of them in the whole same thing. Brooklyn Nets, KD, Kyrie, cool. I like Kyrie, but fuck them. Like, make a decision, go trade them, and then go get some reasonable pieces. You can't get the whole organization. You can't get the GM. You can't get the coach. You can't get the owner, the fans. You can't get everybody. Like, pick the players that you want for him. They're probably gonna leave you too, but just have fun for however long you got them. Give them their money, sell some tickets, so we can just know what basketball is gonna be like next season. Because I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of waiting. I just want to know. So fuck Brooklyn Nets and fuck Ayton too, because he be on some whole shit too. So it don't matter. Throw them all in the same. Throw them all away. Fuck it.
They're all in there. Fuck it. Fuck them all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's gonna be a hateful show. So I'm choosing hate.
Great.
Right for Tom Ricketts, owner of the Chicago Cubs. So the Cubs just snapped a 9-game losing streak today. And Wilson Contreras has been slumping, and he got a hit late in the game, ended up being the go-ahead run. And he asked for the ball that he hit. And the prevailing theory is he asked for it because he knows this was about to be his last game at Wrigley Fields, which will just make that all 5 of the Cubs core players that they had brought up to win the World Series in 2016, snapped their streak, will most likely have been traded in the last year and handful of days. So fuck Tom Ricketts, sell the team. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you. Your brother's even bigger piece of shit as a governor of Nebraska, making people's lives extra hell. So yeah, just fuck them all. Fuck the Ricketts. I can't stand them. Sell the team to somebody that's willing to spend some money on their own players, and just get on with your life, make your money. It's fine. Fuck you. 3 and a possible.